Shalom Yasharallah. Kwam Yasharal. I don't know if you saw the news this morning or not, that the Kremlin in Moscow, they say, was supposedly attacked by drones. I saw the video of something exploding over the the dome of it. And I mean, there's just so much in the news right now that should be screaming to you what's about to happen. And besides the news, just what the word has shown us should be screaming to you what time it is. This morning, I've had to stop what I'm doing and bring this message to you because it's that important. The Most High confirmed to me just a few short minutes ago why exactly we had to go through Ezekiel and learn what the measurements are. If you have studied the word at all, excuse me, you might recall scripture where it says the Most High, he said out of his own mouth that he would pass over us with a rod and measure each and every one of us. Okay? The war over there in Ukraine and Russia, one specific thing that stands out to me about the regions that the fighting's going on in the Donbass, I recall when this thing first started back in like 2014 that there was a big part of it was they were trying to do this ethnic cleansing of the land of Russian supporters, Russian-backed militants. Okay? This has been Russia versus the Western societies, civilization. We learned in Ezekiel what the house is, what Abba's house is. It's not a building made with hands. You should know this. It consists of people obeying the Torah. It said the boundary of the house is the Torah. And the reason we had to know each measurement and do those measurements is because right now is the time that he's passing over us with that measuring rod. He's seen where your threshold is. Where have you brung foreign mighty ones across your threshold? He's measuring to see how far you're willing to go, how bad you really want everlasting life. And he's a merciful creator. He's not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. So you should see why I had to stop working just now and bring this to you. This is a matter of life or death. The reason he's shown me what these things are is because I've given him all esteem. Sorry about that, folks. I just pulled over here to a spot to get this message to you, and wouldn't you know, a guy would have to start his big rig diesel up right here beside me, and he shut it off. He'll probably start it up again, but that's neither here nor there. I got to get this to you regardless of the circumstances. This message right here is piping hot. You best get it, and get it a lot. There's a reason he brought us here to Jeremiah chapter 4. It says, verse 1, if you do return, O Yasharal, and that's any of you who claim to serve the quote-unquote God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If that's you, listen up. You are Yasharallah. But you can also get destroyed along with those fake, false gods you serve on all their days. When their day comes to promote them, when Easter comes to promote Ishtar, the goddess of fertility, there you are with bells on. When it comes to celebrate Saturnalia, Christmas, there you are with bells on. But when Abba tells you to be there to give your support to him, you're nowhere to be found. So if I have to pause it, it's because Jackass over here started his truck again. But let's get this. If you do return, O Yasharal, declares Yahuwah, return to me. And if you remove your abominations from my presence and cease strain, and shall swear as Yahuwah lives in truth, in right ruling, and in righteousness, then nations shall bless themselves in him, and they shall boast in him. You see, the reason he showed me all these amazing understandings through the mouth of the Messiah, that two-edged sword, is because I've been giving him all esteem. When Ezekiel said he looked into the house, he's seen the esteem of Abba Yahuwah. If you're listening to this, that's what you're hearing right now. You're seeing the esteem of who? Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator. You're seeing me face down, giving him all honor, all praise, all glory, and every single drop of all esteem. Verse 3, for this is what Yahuwah said to the men of Utah, Yehudah. And this is especially directed to you Mormons out there. If you're a Mormon and you hear this, there's a lot of things that you do that I do admire. I admire your organization and your steadfastness. But you have to realize that you've been steadfast for other mighty ones. You celebrate Christmas. You give no thought to the Shabbat. Your forefathers, your founding fathers, risked their lives to come to Utah to set up the area that he will set his throne. You got that right. But you've brought defilement into his boundary, into his house, into the land. But you ain't getting into his real house unless you obey his voice, the Torah. So listen up. This is for you. Like I said, anyone who claims to serve the quote-unquote God of Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are Yasharallah, but that doesn't mean that you get to live. You only get to live and enter into his house when you obey his voice and you give him all esteem face down. Break up your tillable ground and do not sow among thorns. Circumcise yourself unto Yahuwah and take away the foreskins of your hearts. You men of Yehutah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my wrath come forth like fire and burn, with none to quench it, because the evil of your deeds. These deeds are evil. If you have Christmas trees, Easter bunnies, with the forehead of a whore, you deny keeping the seventh day Sabbath, Shabbat, which his command, his word, the boundary of his house, has commanded us to do. And I've had you, several of you, laugh and smirk at me when I tell you I keep the seventh day, Shabbat. And you make sure to go out of your way to tell me that it's Sunday, the first day of the week, which was changed by the Vatican, the Pope. Yes, it was. Declare in Yehuda, and let it be heard in Jerusalem, and say, blow a shofar in the land. Cry aloud and say, gather yourselves and let us go into the walled city. Lift up the banner towards Sion. Be strong. Do not stand still. Here I am, Abba. For I am bringing evil from the north and great destruction. A lion has come up from his bush, and the destroyer of nations is on his way. He has set out from his place to make your land a ruin. Yes, your cities are laid waste without inhabitant. You're being measured right now. Make sure you pay attention and you get on your face now while you still have the time. For this, gird yourself with sackcloth, lament and wail, for the burning displeasure of Yahuwah has not turned back from us. It's not going to turn back until you put down, like we read in the beginning, your abominations and your strain, your crookedness. And in that day it shall be, declares Yahuwah, that the heart of the sovereign shall perish, and the heart of the heads, and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets wander. Then I said, Master Yahuwah, truly you have greatly deceived this people, and Jerusalem, saying, peace is for you, whereas the sword reaches to the heart. At that time it shall be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a scorching wind of bare heights blows in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan or to cleanse. The sword that reaches to the heart, that's your twisted version of his word. The bare heights, that's your temples, your churches, where confusion, strain after other mighty ones, delusion, deluded word is taught. A wind too strong for this shall come for me. Now it is I who speak judgments against them. See, he comes up like clouds, and his chariots like a whirlwind. There you go, a whirlwind. Baal. His horses shall be swifter than eagles. Woe to us, for we shall be ravaged. O Jerusalem, wash your heart from evil. That's this message. I'm pleading with you. Be saved. That's how you're saved. There's no rapture. It says he takes the wicked first. They will be the ones taken up, but not up, but down. Till when would your wicked thoughts remain with you? For a voice is declaring from Dan and is proclaiming trouble from Mount Ephraim. Announce to the nations, look, proclaim against Jerusalem that besiegers are coming from a distant land, and raise their voice against the cities of Yehudah, Utah. Like keepers of a field, they are against her all around, because she has rebelled against me, declares Yahuwah. Your ways and your deeds have brought this upon you, you see? This is your evil, because it is bitter, because it has reached into your heart. Bitter, it's the absence of his word, the bitter river that surrounds ancient Babylon. And everything that's came out of Babylon has been bitter, and anyone who's drank from those waters have been made bitter. Oh, my inward parts, I am in pain. Oh, the walls of my heart pounds in me. I am not silent, for you have heard, oh, my being, a voice of a shofar, a shout of battle. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for all the land is ravaged. Suddenly my tents are ravaged, my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see a banner and hear a voice of a shofar? For my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are stupid children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I was just talking to a friend the other night about spiritual warfare, which is something Abba's put on my heart. Most people, when they talk about spiritual warfare, what do they picture in their mind? Do they picture angels fighting with swords above their head? Is that what you think spiritual warfare is? How many times have I explained to you, shared to you, with you, the understanding of what spiritual means that Abba, through his son, Messiah, out his mouth, taught me? Just like the fighting spirit, if you're losing a fight, but you decide you don't want to lose and you get your ass up and you start to fight, you now have that fighting spirit. This is a spiritual battle. But it's not angels clashing above your head with swords. It's, do you want to fight for your life or not? That's what this spiritual battle is. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I looked at the earth and saw it was formless and empty, and the heavens, they had no light. I looked at the mountains and saw they shook, and all the hills were swaying. I looked and saw there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens had fled. I looked and saw the garden land was a wilderness, and all its cities were broken down at the presence of Yahuwah by his burning displeasure. There's going to be absolute devastation and loss of life brought about to this land. For thus said Yahuwah, all the earth shall be a ruin, but I shall not make a complete end. On account of this, let the earth mourn and the heavens above be dark, because I have spoken, because I have purposed and shall not relent, nor do I turn back from it. It says the heaven shall be dark. If you ever get a chance, watch this movie called Threads. It's free on YouTube if you have YouTube Premium. It's a movie that was released in 1984, and it's about nuclear war. And it's gruesome. It's traumatizing if you watch it, but if you ain't serious, you need to watch that movie. They say in that movie that when those bombs go off, that the fallout cloud will cover the sky and you won't hardly see sun for years. For surely for months and days, depending on how many of them things they let off. And it's coming. Because I have purpose and shall not relent, nor do I turn back from it. All the city is fleeing from the noise of the horsemen and bowmen. They shall go into bushes and climb up on rocks. All the city is forsaken and no one is dwelling in it. And when you are ravaged, what would you do? Though you put on crimson, red, though you adorn yourselves with ornaments of gold, though you enlarge your eyes with paint, you beautify yourself in vain. Your lovers despise you, they seek your life. You celebrate these days and these holidays in vain, because those gods, quote unquote, that you are celebrating, promoting, supporting, backing, are out to kill you, and you can't see it. Open your eyes. For I have heard a voice as of a woman in labor, the distress as of her who brings forth her first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion. She bewails herself, she spreads out her hand, saying, Woe to me, for my being faints because of killers. Not literally, but that's what he hears when he looks down upon all this debauchery. The land, the people are mourning inside, and they don't even know it, because of all the killers they've gave their allegiance to. They've pledged their allegiance to, which is what will be their demise. Turn back to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, this day. Get down on your face and give him all praise, all honor, all glory, and all esteem while you can. These out.